I'm Joe Kaiser. Live disclosure, Sunday nights from 9 to 11. Thank you very much for tuning in. The news recently usually has scary topics and stories of the day. People careening out of control on highways, perhaps a local manufacturing plant laying off hundreds and hundreds of people. This pales into comparison with real tragedies and real scary stories of our times. People losing millions of dollars in the stock market to much more frightening stories of, say, man-eating people. Of course, I'm talking about cannibals and the people who hunt these perpetrators down. My guest this week is none other than a detective with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Dr. Forrest Green. Dr. Forrest Green is a foremost authority in tracking down man-eating people and bringing them their lifestyle to an end and to justice. Dr. Green, are you there?
I'm right here.
Dr. Green, thank you very much for joining us this weekend. Let me ask you a question.
Of course, you can ask me many questions. You'll get all sorts of answers. The answers you might find, though, are not ones you might like.
That's interesting. Dr. Green, tell me about your most recent case, if it's all right.
Of course. There was a woman who lived in a forest nearby a large metropolis. This woman would lure men and other women into her forest-like abode, trick them into feeling at ease and at home. Then she would proceed to knock them out using turpentine or laughing gas.
Wait, what?
The woman, her name was Lady Sheba. At least that's what she called herself.
Lady Sheba lived in the forest near a large metropolis?
Yes. She would lure her victims in, and once she had them, she would eat them.
Excuse me?
She would eat them whole.
How would she eat someone whole?
She would cook them over an open pit, kind of like a pig at a luau, say in Hawaii.
All right.
Then she would chop them up into little bits and eat them.
This went unnoticed for how long?
Lady Sheba has 16 victims to her name.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. There was a human cannibal living in a nearby forest of a large metropolis. What city was this?
It was Philadelphia.
So this woman lived in what a park?
Yes, a large park right outside the outskirts of Philadelphia. Even when it wasn't sunny, she would find her way to capture another victim.
What would she use to lure people into her little forest dwelling?
Yes, her forest dwelling was a Winnebago with a little campsite, kind of like a gypsy would use.
Oh, right. And what kind of background can you give me on this Lady Sheba? Was she from Philadelphia? How did she suddenly develop this taste for human flesh?
Oh, that goes back many a years. Apparently, Lady Sheba was a very large fan of kibbles and bits.
Say that again?
Kibbles and bits. You see, she was a big fan of the local dog scene, the dog clubs, and she first started eating dog food, and then from there she splintered off into bat food and rat food, and then suddenly,
let me guess, human flesh. That's a big jump, Doctor.
It is a big jump. It's a good thing I was on the case. I've been struggling, trying to wrap my head around how could someone do this, and the results were horrifying.
So you caught her. How did you catch her?
I dressed up as a street person.
A street person? What was your getup?
Let's just say I was a lady of the night, and I found her, Lady Sheba, in her dwelling while she was in the midst of eating 6 large entrepreneurs.
Excuse me?
Entrepreneurs. She had them roasted over an open pit.
All right, that's enough. We'll be right back. I'm Joe Kaiser. Live disclosure. We're talking to Dr. Forrest Green, a man who caught Lady Sheba, a cannibal who had been eating up to 16 people in the outskirts of Philadelphia. We'll be right back. I'm Joe Kaiser. Live Disclosure starts now, Sunday nights from 9 to 11. We have with us Dr. Forrest Green. Now, Doctor, Lady Sheba, you caught her. How did you catch her? Did you use like a gun? Did you tackle her? Were you able to save those businessmen that she was cooking?
Let's just say it was a rather precarious situation. I had to shimmy and shake to fool her into thinking that I was nothing more than a lady or a tramp, and that once she thought my guard was down, she let her guard down for a moment, and that's when I bear hugged her, and I threw her to the ground, knocking the wind out of Lady Sheba, and there her teeth fell out. You see, this cannibal had lost all her teeth when she was very young. She used dentures with denture polygrip, a very smooth surface, sticky up into the roof of her mouth.
What in the world are you saying, Dr. Green? What?
What I'm saying is quite clearly, I disarmed her, or should I say more bluntly, I toothed her.
Oh my
God. Lady Sheba is now at a correctional facility in the solitary confinement wing, where she and other people of her kind will live a very lone and solitary life.
Will you study her? Will people try to learn from her? Or will the authorities try to have her pay for these crimes?
Oh, she is far too important to the scientific community. We must study her brain.
Study her brain? Would that mean you kill her and then take her brain out and look at it and see if it's like a different size or shape or color or, what makes it tick?
No. We won't do that at all. We'll study her. We'll play games with her, put her in a cell, tase her, give her water, and then say it's Kool-Aid.
What in the world are you talking about?
We'll play mind games with Lady Sheba until she tells us why she did what she did.
What if she can't?
Well then, looks like Lady Sheba's in for a long, long life of pain.
It sounds like you're no better than her.
Oh, really? Let me ask you something, sir.
I'm right here.
What do you do at night when you close your eyes and the demons come?
Demons? I'm usually asleep. No demons bother me. I'm Joe Kaiser, Live Disclosure. We'll be right back. And we're back. Joe Kaiser, Live Disclosure on right now with Forrest Green. Now, Dr. Forrest Green, before we broke, it sounded like you were trying to threaten me. Is that the case?
I'm not trying to threaten anyone at all. I'm just trying to make you realize, looking at it from a different point of view, we're not dealing with a regular person. We're dealing with a very, very minute possibility that we have an abnormally abstract genius on our hands, one that seems to like the taste of human flesh.
Apparently so. She cooked 6 men at one time.
She did that indeed. Would you like to speak with her? She is on the line right now.
She's on the line? Where are you speaking to me from right now?
I'm in the solitary confinement wing, in the hallway, right outside cell number 1141. Lady Sheba's current and, for the rest of her life, address. It doesn't look like a forest anymore, does it, Lady Sheba?
No.
That's right. Talk to the good man on the phone, Lady Sheba.
No.
Come on, Lady Sheba. You know you want to. He tastes like chicken.
All right, Doctor.
He tastes like chicken?
Doctor, stop it. Stop antagonizing. Stop mistreating this woman.
I would talk to him if you like.
Fine.
There you go, Lady Sheba. Another victim awaits you.
Oh my God. Lady Sheba, what was your birth name?
My name is Lady Sheba, and I can't help what I do, I just do it.
Go on, Lady Sheba. Tell him more. Tell him about the birds.
The birds, Doctor?
The birds. The birds that she would have pluck out the eyes of her victims before she would eat their brains.
All right, that's it. I've had it. This is absurd. This is madness.
Is it madness? We'll see what madness is. I'll be bringing by Lady Sheba when you're asleep.
That's impossible. She's in a solitary confinement behind bars.
Oh, I have a day pass for her, and I have your address.
Stop it right now. Joe Kaiser, live disclosure. This is over. Someone call the police. Please.